Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick little video for you guys, and since I was already listening to music, I figure I might as well throw that in the background as well. At least that's more than just me sitting here blathering. Just wanted to do a quick little, not really an update, but pose a question. Now, as of yesterday, I just got done recording episode 9 and 10 of Star Ocean. When we get to episode 9, I have a whole spiel at the end of the video about which characters to recruit. And now I wanted to make sure that I kind of talked with you guys kind of earlier on so I could do the appropriate testing and actually continue recording, because at this point I'm at a little bit of an impasse. I can't continue to make episodes because doing so will have chosen my characters. Now, normally this isn't a big deal. Normally you play a game, you just get the optional characters and you're done. Star Ocean doesn't do that. Star Ocean, you get a choice of your optional characters, and picking one often means you can't get another. Now, this leads to a bit of a dilemma. Which characters do I get? Some of them have certain other story aspects that I would like to show off. Others are simply better characters in battle, and others again allow you to get other things that I want, say other characters or other items. That being said, the video, episode 9 there at the end, I do talk a little bit about, asking you guys to kind of give me some input. However, I didn't reveal any spoilers at that time. Now, really in order to properly do, ask you guys about this, I really need to ask about spoilers. Or I need to provide you with spoilers, and not a lot of spoilers, mainly just the fact that, we're getting certain characters, the mandatory characters in our party, and who the optional characters are. I'm just going to go through all of them. So, spoiler alert! I will put it big letters on the screen. Hopefully they are big enough. Yeah, so if you are not interested in any spoilers on this game, pass on the rest of this video. Hopefully there's a few people out there who have actually played the game who can give me a little bit of insight, because I've played with some of the characters before, but not all of them. Some of them are really good and I know I want them in my final party. Others are either okay or I haven't used them and I'm not sure and I want to try them out, but X, Y, Z, whatever. Anyway, this is the point of no return, spoiler line. If you don't want to listen, close video now. Okay. The way it works in Star Ocean is specifically in the first one, is you have 4 mandatory characters. Radix, protagonist, Millie, Ronixus, and Iria. Those 4 you're going to get regardless. However, there are, 3, 6, 7 optional characters, and you have a total of 8 character slots, so you can only get 4 of them. Real asshole move. I guess it creates a lot of desire to replay the game, so maybe that's got something to do with it, but oh well. Anyway, so the first character that we can get is Ceus. Now, Ceus is basically a two-handed sword wielder, if you don't know, and in battle he is slow. So as a battle character, I'm not interested in him at all. I will use him when I am basically required to, whenever I don't have any better characters, and that's basically it. I'll abandon him as soon as I have the opportunity to, because he's not very good. That's another thing, as I probably won't keep everyone's levels equal all the time. I was actually experimenting with this, and it causes a big amount of grinding once you kind of get a big splash of a whole bunch of new characters, and it's kind of annoying. I could level up everyone, kind of show them off somewhat equally, but some characters really just aren't all that great. Specifically the mages, because they don't know what they're doing. AI sucks and they tend to heal enemies more than damaging them. But anyway, so the advantages of picking Ceus. The advantages and the disadvantages. If you pick Ceus, you cannot get another character called Marvel. Now, the only reason I could see wanting to do that is to save another slot so that you can get a different character. So that's one plus or minus about him. He also allows you, if you choose him, or I think if you choose nobody at all, Yeah, I think that still works. Anyway, if you do that and you specifically don't pick Ashley as your character, you'll be able to do a private action way later in the game where Millie will give Radix the second best accessory in the game, known as the Charm. Now, you can get unlimited of these, only Radix can equip them, second best accessory in the game. However, by the time you can get this, you can also grind out the ultimate accessory in the game relatively easily, and I'm going to be getting those accessories anyway, so it kind of loses its purpose. You can't sell them, it's not like you can make money off of it or anything like that, so I'm not sure. It's a useful accessory to have, especially on your first playthrough, because it's a lot easier to manage to get than the ultimate accessory, but that's pretty much the plus and minuses of Cia's. Ashley, when you first get him, he is basically a more powerful version of Radix. However, he's slower, and he has a lot of HP at the start, very little MP, which means he can't use a lot of skills, so he relies on his normal attack a lot of the time. His normal attack is not great, his skills are better, but still, he's too slow to really be a useful character endgame, at least from what I've read. I haven't used him way into the endgame. I've used him through most of the game. So that's his kind of pluses and minuses. If you do recruit him, you automatically get Marvel in your party. You also have the option to do a couple other side quests. You can no longer get the Charm if he's in your party, so that's out. He's got some pluses, some minuses. He's really powerful when you first get him, but he quickly becomes weak over time because he basically starts off not higher level, but with better stats and a lot more HP. But he balances out, and then as your other characters level up, he gets kind of weaker and weaker, comparatively speaking. So, anyway, Joshua is the next optional character. You can pick him up as long as you do a side quest at pretty much the middle of the game. If you decide to pick him up, he's basically a red mage. He's not really all that great as a battle character, and I've never actually used him. I'm just going off of what I've read. I've never actually recruited him, and I have no desire to, because he's a mage. So, one, he's got crap for defense. Two, he's got some attack spells, and he's got some of the weaker healing magic. So as a healer, he's not great. Attack magic sucks because the AI sucks. And yeah, bringing him in does have an advantage though. If you bring in both him and Marvel, which if you recruit Joshua, you automatically get Marvel. There is an optional side quest that Joshua gets, and you also get an optional sequence in another optional dungeon that involves both Joshua and Marvel. Now, this allows you to get an extra character at some point. If you have these two in your party, you can actually choose to lose a character and pick up another one later. So that's an option there if you so desire to do it. I don't want to go into details on that, one, because I haven't done it for myself, obviously, since I haven't recruited Joshua before, but I also don't want to spoil things too much. Let's see here. Marvel herself, she is kind of like a mage in at least concept. All of her techs, she's basically a fighter, but she's got lower defense for a fighter. And all of her techs look like they're magically based, even though I am not sure if they are or not. She can be extremely exploitive to basically stun lock enemies in battle, from what I've experienced on my test run and from what I've read. So she is a very good option in battle as long as you keep her away from the enemy, and can be extremely abusive to use. So there's the pluses on her side. I don't think recruiting her prevents you from doing anything, but yeah, so anyway, Marvel is a character I'm likely going to recruit. Next one is Fear. Now, Fear has been kind of noted as potentially being the second best fighter in the entire game. Now, Fear is good. Specifically her normal attack, which is extremely abusive considering it hits twice and from a range, and she does a lot of damage. Well, a decent amount of damage anyway. So with that being said, she's a great character for that. However, she does have some downsides. Her techs aren't necessarily all that much better than her normal attack. So, you know, using her for techs, you know, it uses MP. She's got good stats, high strength, high HP, high MP, pretty much an all-around really well-done character. She just doesn't have any techs that are particularly useful. They're as useful as her normal attack, maybe slightly more, so you will be using her, and in my first playthrough and in my current playthrough, I'm going to be using her. She is really, really good. She may not end up in my final party, but that would depend on the other two final optional characters. Tunic. Tunic, recruiting him is very easy. You just go to one area and, you know, you pick him up. Simple as that. It's very simple. With Fear, you can gain her a number of different ways and at a number of different points in the game. For whatever reason, depending on which characters you've recruited previously. It doesn't really matter when you get her. You know, you will have an option to recruit her, I'm pretty sure, regardless of what you do. Actually, if you recruit her earlier in the game, you miss out on getting one of her secret techniques. I'm not sure how good that technique is, because last time I played, I would have gotten her later as opposed to earlier, so I got that technique. I'm not sure if it's any good or not, but, you know, so much. Tunic, on the other hand, is really fast in battle, like Fear, and that's a good thing. He also has long range. He attacks with a pole, like a pole arm, quarterstaff, whatever you want to call it. His techs aren't great for damage, but he attacks so fast, and he's got a really useful ability with a chance at instant death, which is great. Can be really useful. He can be the only one who can take down a certain magic or musically summoned enemy, if yeah, you catch my drift there. Oh, she's evil. Anyway, so yeah, he is very useful. I enjoy using him quite a bit, just because, you know, he's not like super tanky or anything like that. He equips gear similar to Iria late game, so middle of the line defense, but because of his extra range, he really doesn't take too much of an abuse. Unlike the final character, Perissy, or however you want to pronounce her name. The little kitty cat. Anyway, this character starts off at level 5. However, the way you can choose to use her is if you use her normal attack, you're not using her right, and she uses, I think, her bare fists and gets up really, really close to the enemy and takes a lot of damage because she has crap for defense. You obviously have to grind her levels up because she starts at level 5 when your other characters are likely level 30 plus. And you can only get her quite late in the game. Tunic as well, and Fear as well to an extent, but, you know, for the most part it's not too bad because both Fear and Tunic start at higher levels, I think 15 and 20 respectively. But level 5 is pretty low. She can be extremely useful from what I've read, because I've never actually recruited her. I've missed the item required to recruit her every time I've played this game, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, so if I'm to recruit her, then I obviously need a spot for her, meaning, you know, she can be quite useful in battle, so I'd like to kind of try out. She has a very good tech to hit from long range and can stun lock the enemy, very similar to the way Marvel can. In fact, using a combination of Marvel and Perissy in the same party can be extremely abusive, basically stun locking enemies. There's also a way of beating the final boss in 2 seconds with them, Radix, and who else? I think Iria, but regardless, I don't care. Anyway, so those are our characters. I'm leaning toward a party that contains Marvel, Fear, Tunic, and Perissy. However, in order to do that, I miss out on Ashley, which if I didn't mention, he also gives Radix a special technique at the end of the game. I have never gotten this one. I don't know if it's any good or not, so again, I can't comment too much on that. I probably wouldn't use it anyway because I know Radix has a incredibly powerful tech that I will be using for sure. So, you know, you lose out on the tech, you lose out on the charm banjel, or the charm item, whatever it is, second best accessory in the game, and you have to go through the first quarter of the game with only 2 characters. Yeah, it basically makes a big section of the game really, well, not really difficult, but it's going to require me to do a little extra level grinding in order to get, you know, these other characters. And just because I get them doesn't mean I'm going to be able to show them all off equally. Whatever happens, happens. I'll try and fit everyone in as much as I can, but it'll depend on how well they play out for me. I know I'll be able to make use of Marvel, Fear, and Tunic. Prissy, I'll have to figure out how to use her properly. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I would like you guys to kind of give me advice if you can. I did not expect this video to end up as long as it is, so I'm sorry about that. I did want to kind of go over this in like 5 minutes, but oh well, is what it is, I guess. So yeah, you know, if you don't care, you know, tell me that. If you want me to show off a specific character, I will definitely take it under advisement. Hopefully I can get, you know, an idea if enough people leave comments to, you know, pick the appropriate characters. And yeah, so if you want me to just, you know, pick like the best battle team, I can do that. If you want me to pick what shows off the most story, I can do that. Like I said, Joshua has between Joshua and Marvel, you get the most extra storyline content. Most of the other characters, specifically Tunic and Prissy, don't have any extra story as far as I know. But yeah, everyone else seems to have a little bit. So yeah, anyway, tell me which characters you want to see, and hopefully be able to get that all figured out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.